It's the ESPN Yes podcast with Marissa and Tamieka.
Look, I'd rather be a gambler than a weedhead.
I walked in, sat down, had to leave, and violently vomited.
I'm not going down that hole. I'm not. Don't even try me. Not today, Satan. Not today. I value my friendship. You're the cream, and the coffee is life. You bring cream to my life.
Ooh, I'm not sure.
Once a week for an hour.
Why? Like, listen to that thing. Why were you laughing? Why were you like, I'm not sure?
Oh, because remember we kept going, you're the cream. Wait, huh? Like, I just...
You're thinking like nasty or something?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. See, I was just thinking, like, cream is good with sugar, with coffee.
Yeah, you're the cream to my life.
You're a nasty girl.
All you nasty girls.
Anyway, sorry to people out there, like, my hair just keeps cutting off and touched the wrong side. It's like, whatever. It is what it is.
I love your hair.
I'm going to be playing around my hair like the whole show. I'm so vain. I thought this show was about me.
Oh.
All right. So today's topic is entitled Saying the Quiet Parts Out Loud. I kind of wanted, for those that don't know.
That like, bird is ridiculous.
The what?
Those birds are ridiculous right now.
They're really loud?
Yeah.
I guess everybody can see that I'm like outside.
No, well, they can't see it. They can hear it.
I mean, can hear that I'm outside. Mm-hmm. They're going to just have to deal with it today. Is it distracting? Can you not hear me?
No, I can hear you.
Can you hear me fine or you hear me okay?
Oh, no, I hear you fine. I also hear them birds.
Well, I can't do nothing about the birds. I mean, they deserve to live too in this world. But anyway, so I'm gonna there's a, what do you call it? The saying is saying the quiet part out loud, and there are people that don't know, where that phrase came from, or you do know, and it's like,
you schooled me today because I had no idea where that phrase came from, and no? I think I've heard it here and there. Like I had a grasp on it, but you really schooled me today, so thank you. Now I know exactly where it came from, what it is, what it means.
That's good to know. I'm going to share my screen, which has like the origin and definition of it. So the quiet part loud, also known as the quiet part out loud, is a slang expression used to describe a person who unintentionally announces the subtext of a public statement. The earliest known usage of the phrase comes from a 1995 episode of The Simpsons. On the March 5th, 1995 episode, A Star is Burns aired in the United States. In the episode, the character Krusty the Clown joins the jury of a local film festival. When asked why he's voting for the film by the villainous tycoon, Mr. Burns, he says, "Let's just say it moved me to a bigger house." Oops, I said the loud part quiet and the quiet part loud. The joke implies that he did not mean to announce that Mr. Burns bribed him for his vote. I'm going to share the actual clip of that. It's 10 seconds.
How can you vote for Burns's movie?
Let's just say it moved me to a bigger house. Oops, I said the quiet part loud and the loud part quiet. Oh, dear.
So, Marissa, have you ever done that yourself? Let me just say that lately that reference has taken on more of a racial epithet, like not epithet, a racial overtones, because it kind of implies that non-minorities, that's what we can call them, non-minorities, that's only leaves one group, always say things how they're really feeling, like, intentionally or unintentionally, I don't know, but they say what we always suspect when they get caught saying it out loud, and then it comes with an apology, because we always suspect that they feel a certain way about certain things. And then, when it's said, it's like, oh, see, you're saying the quiet part out loud. Has this ever happened in your life?
have I said it or have people said it to me?
Have you, like, you don't have to say whether you said it, but like, have you
Well,
ever
not
been,
it.
have you ever
not
been
with the
like in a
racial-
situation where somebody said something, the quiet part, out loud in your presence?
Oh, all the time. All the time. And I'm the queen of passive aggressive. So it kind of leaves room for people to like not quite get it right away. So yeah, it happens all the time. And it's one of those
So give us an
Oh.
example. Give us an example.
Somebody was saying about these dolls that these kids were playing. It was like a playhouse. And she goes, I ordered the wrong family. Now the kids have to play with a Puerto Rican family. And I just go, because I'm the queen of passive aggressive. Yeah, who would want to do that? And they looked at me and they were like, what? And I went, what? What? So it was one of those situations. Or it could be I'm trying to think.
But I think a lot of times with the quiet part out loud, it's like they don't say it to you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's usually in reference to something you heard they didn't expect you to hear.
Oh no, they weren't talking to me.
Oh, see, you didn't say that.
Oh yeah, no.
I thought you were having a conversation.
I wasn't having a conversation. I happened to be standing there. They knew I was there, but they were talking to each other. And I whipped around with the whole like, yeah, who wants to do that?
Right.
And it was a huh.
For me, there's one, I have two examples. One of which wasn't my experience, but you told me about it.
Okay.
So I had this boyfriend who was like militant. And since you know, go ahead and tell the story.
No, go ahead.
You were there, so I'd rather you tell it.
No, because I feel like I want to make sure we're thinking of the right situation. I don't want to say anything out of line. So go ahead.
So I had this boyfriend, and at the time I was living with you. And he came to visit, and like I gotta say on a side note, like it's like crazy because like I had my dude all up like in the house, but you encouraged it. Like it wasn't like I would never do that unless you were like, he should come here. Like let him
to visit you. Yeah, let him visit.
But like in the grand scheme of things, like in life, like how many people, although my cousin got her whole man living in the house. So I mean, anyway. So he was on the phone out on the deck, or I don't know if he had a deck then, just patio. And he was using the word spick. I don't know who he was talking about. I don't know if he was talking about you or not, but he was saying spick. And I'm like, and you told me about it. And I felt very uncomfortable. Like I couldn't react because I felt like in the middle.
You weren't there, yeah.
But I did say something to him, like later. Like not in front of you. But it's like, bro, you sitting up in her house, eating her food, chilling, and you got the nerve. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But he was like, you know how I feel. I don't feel like minorities can be racist, but I think that they can spew racist rhetoric. And he definitely was spewing
racist rhetoric. Yeah.
Very like, oh, you're saying the quiet part out loud. You would never say that in her face or to her face.
He didn't know I was walking in. He didn't know I was walking in.
Right.
Yeah. And then he turned around and was like, oh, and I was making myself something to eat. And he was like, oh, I love that too. Like,
yeah, whatever. So yeah, that was the ex-boyfriend. And then one of the other situations that I've encountered. So I was at a family gathering and a bunch of family members were talking. And one of the family members was like, and I've told you about this. I've mentioned this, that I heard this. I was at a gathering, whatever, and there were family members there, and the family members was a group of family members speaking, and one of the family members got a new job, and the other family member, who happened to be a sibling of this family member that got the job, said to the sibling, "Tell them where you're working." And sibling was like looked very uncomfortable and didn't want to say nothing. I think the sibling saw me like standing to the side. Like I wasn't part of the conversation, but I was like to the side, like away from it, like drinking my juice or whatever, sipping my gin and juice. And the sibling didn't want to say nothing. And so the other sibling that was like, tell them where you work. And the sibling just never said anything. And then the sibling was like line dance. And they all like, oh. And I was like, anybody that knows Long Island knows like where me and Marissa, the county that, not county, Long Island is not a county. What would you call Long Island? It's just not a borough.
I say downstate New York. I know you hate when I say that.
But it's not just Long Island though.
Yeah, it's
An island.
An island that's long.
Yeah.
It's off of Manhattan.
So the people that are from here know there are parts of Long Island that are considered like economically depressed, shall we say. And where do economically depressed people live? And what is the stigma attached to economically depressed people? And what do economically depressed people look like?
But don't say Selden is economically depressed.
What?
Don't say Selden is
no,
economically depressed.
Right. No, you would never say that.
Don't say Shirley's economically depressed.
Even though. And so this person's saying this, and I'm like, oh, he's saying the quiet part out loud. Because if my face was in the view of this person's face, I don't know if they would have said that. But the back was to me. And it was like, everything that you already suspect comes out when, people feel real comfortable in their comfort zone and they don't expect you to be.
Yeah.
And and the thing about saying the quiet parts out loud, when a person calls you on it, you either apologize or you say, whatever, that's not what I meant. You're taking it to another, like all of a sudden it's gaslighting. It's like, now it's my fault. All of a sudden I should have been eavesdropping.
I shouldn't have been thinking like that. What do you talk?
Everything's about race, right? So, it's one of those things where when it comes to, saying the quiet parts out loud, it can be like we said, race. It can be like the cartoons, like, giving a donation or, doing something underhanded to get the things that you wanted. Nobody is supposed to know about, and I think we all have experienced it in one way or another, whether we were the recipient or I don't know what the word is, but the one that's like causing the quote unquote havoc. But I guess what made me think about this topic was the recent situation involving Rachel Nichols, who is an ESPN analyst, and Maria Taylor, who's an ESPN analyst. So there's a video leaked last week, not a video, an audio leak last week. And so I'm going to play the audio, and then we can kind of discuss a little bit about the background and what we think about it. Cool? Cool beans. Wait a second. Nope, can't do that. I'm sharing the wrong thing. How do you stop share? Am I sharing this?
No.
Okay, it's sharing on my end, but not your end. So, un momento, por favor. But while we're doing it, I'm just going to give a quick background. So Maria Taylor, she played basketball. She is an analyst on ESPN, mainly does the basketball roundtable for the national games that show up on ESPN and on ABC Network, which also has the NBA finals, which are current right now. So I'm going to share this now. Let's see.
Got it, sharing.
Okay.
They said to me, hey, instead of posting the NBA finals, why don't you do yours instead and report it off the NBA finals? Because guess what that would go like for? for Maria to do the hosting for us. So I have declined. I don't know what their next move is, but they are feeling pressure because of all of that. And I'm trying to figure out like how to just, my thing is that I wish Maria Taylor all the success in the world. She covers football, she covers basketball. If you need to give her more things to do because you're feeling pressure about your crappy one-time record anniversary, which by the way, I myself know personally for the female side of it, go for it. Just, find it somewhere else. You're not gonna find it with me.
So for those that may have a little bit of trouble hearing, Rachel Nichols she got caught on an audio. I don't know who recorded it, but she got caught complaining about Maria Taylor being selected to be the analyst for the NBA Finals last year when they were in the bubble. Rachel Nichols felt that, she should have been the analyst on duty, and she basically summed up her being chosen as a diversity thing because she was Black, not because she was more skilled and she played basketball and she has the chops to do it, but because she was Black. And so obviously she came out, as they always do, and she apologized and for about 10 seconds. And the show that she apologized on, she has 2 other co-hosts that were on the show with her. And people are making a big deal about how they spoke longer than she did, making apologies for her. You know what I mean? Defending her. And it was like, shit never changes. It's like they say, it's like, we kind of have an idea of how people feel, but until they really come out and say it, it's like, okay.
Well,
True.
so here's my only problem with, so she doesn't want to give somebody else credit that they might be a better fit for a job. And you know what? I'm going to say, I'm going to play not devil's advocate, but I'm going to give, the range of emotions listening to this audio and kind of looking this up because I'm not a sports person, so I don't know these people. So it's very hard to say to see opportunity go to someone else because you're like, well, I'm a sports analyst. Why wouldn't that come to me first? Blah, blah, blah. So it's very hard to see that somebody else is a better fit than you are for a job. I understand that in entertainment, things are very fleeting. We only have so much time to make a name and be successful. I get it. But at the same time, it does cause a bit more outrage because to whittle down that someone is chosen for a job just because of their race or because it's a diversity hire, which is, I hate that phrase because it just makes it so that it's just a diversity hire and nothing else. It has nothing else to do with the work that she's done, the work that she's going to do, the work that she's putting in to get to where she needs to go. And and as another female or I assume she identifies as a female in a male dominated industry, I would imagine you'd want to maybe help each other. The only example I have is Octavia Spencer. She made, and I forget the actress that she's talking about, how when
I remember, I don't remember her name either, but
Red, yes. So it was she made a point to say where when you have an ally, it's one of those, like, they did a favored nations deal where, I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. We're both gonna get the best deal for the movie that we're making. So I would imagine Jessica Chastain, yes, which made me like her, because before that I was like to Jessica Chastain, but now I like her. But the thing that kills me is, like, we have enough people pulling us down. Let's not be the ones to do that for each other either. I understand that you're upset and you're in your feelings and you let your ego get the best of you. And here we are. I don't know. You're a woman in a male dominated industry. good luck recovering from this. I really do wish you luck. But
Well,
had
here's
you
the
not,
thing that you no, I want you to finish. Had you not
you know,
what?
had you not let your ego and that little mustard seed of, you know what I'm talking about, really get the best of you, you probably could have gone further. You could have had a show with someone that probably the two of you dynamically could have made something a whole
She
lot
has
better.
her own show on top, like, but here's the thing. You might, I mean, the last name Nichols is it's not like a unique last name, but to break down who Rachel Nichols is, um, she is the daughter-in-law of Diane Sawyer. So Diane Sawyer's husband,
Mike Nichols.
that's his daughter-in-law.
So you're gonna tell me, even with Diane Sawyer and your dad, you really got the nerve to have an ego like that and really pull somebody else down? You got some damn nerve.
And then
you got some damn nerve. That makes me even angrier. Diane Sawyer and Mike Nichols,
no. And then, so here's the thing. A lot of people, well, I shouldn't say a lot of people. I've seen people speculate the timing of the audio. Here's the thing. Maria Taylor, back in 2019, prior to the pandemic, she trying to negotiate her contract, and they offered her $5 million, and she turned it down. She said she wanted Stephen A. Smith money. She wanted like 8 million, and they were like, no. Then the pandemic hit, and her contract, the NBA finals, she's working the NBA finals now. If the NBA finals goes the full distance, I believe the last day would be July 22nd, and her contract ends July 20th. ESPN came back this week and offered her $3 million.
excuse me?
So it's just like,
Wait a minute.
yeah.
The math don't, I'm no mathematician,
Something don't add up.
but it don't add up. Some
And
trickery going on.
one thing about the story too, like I said, this happened right before during the NBA bubble last year, during the pandemic. This all came to light in a way too, because a woman, a Black digital video producer named Kayla Johnson, she took the video to HR and she gave it to Maria Taylor, and she was suspended for 2 weeks without pay for doing so.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, but Rachel Nichols, nothing.
Wait a minute.
It's a whole lot of shit, homie. They're saying the quiet part out loud.
Out loud.
But quietly.
Way out loud.
But quietly.
But it's way out loud. Ooh.
So you can see there's a lot of like layers. Like it's just a hot mess.
Oh.
A hot mess. I don't know. It's one of those things where you're just like, what the hell? You know, what is going on here? Like, I think all of the parameters of this story is like the same old shit. Will things ever change?
The more things change, the more they stay the same.
Who's really your ally? Do people smile on your face all the time when to take your place? Those backstabbers. Shout out to the OJs. You know, like, I'm gonna play that song later. They smile in your face all the time, want to take your place. Those backstabbers.
Do you know we've been playing the Doobie Brothers in my house lately?
Why?
Because my son, my little one, he like happened upon, because you know he's always like looking at music. He happened upon a Mike McDonald song.
I love Mike McDonald.
He slaps.
Abbreviate that guy. It's Michael.
Michael McDonald. And he slaps. And he like went down this rabbit hole and he was like, do you know who the Doobie Brothers are? And I was like, I do. How do you know? And he was like, I was listening to and he's like he's like, and then it went to Doobie Brothers. Is that the same guy? And I was like, yeah, it is. He was in a group. And he was like, we've been listening to it. But anyway, I want to get back
on that real quick. We need to show him the clip of what's happening when the Doobie Brothers were on What's Happening. Just Google that. You can watch the whole episode. It's, PG. Doobie Brothers on What's Happening. It's probably on Google. The pro episode's probably on Google.
On What's Happening. Look at that.
Found it? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Show him that video.
Why did Michael McDonald slaps.
Yeah.
Slaps. But okay, hold on. Let's get back to this saying the quiet parts out loud. Now who leaked? Do we know who exactly leaked this audio?
It could have been anybody. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if Maria Taylor did it because her and her people did it because her contract was like, why a whole year later? Did HR do it? Did this girl Kayla do it? Like, I don't know. But why would
there's somebody sitting in his office pissed the shit? Like, you know what? Ain't gonna do my.
Say it again. I think I have the Wi-Fi went out for a second. What'd you say? Your pause. I hope it's not my Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Is it my Wi-Fi? You there?
There's just that random. I hear you perfectly.
Okay. All right. Say that again.
I'm saying it's probably just an intern somewhere. Like, oh, you ain't gonna do my people like this again.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Now for is it are we still, again, like I said, I don't really watch sports. I don't look at analysts. Do sports people really not value a female commentator?
No, they do.
Are we still in that?
No, they do. I want to give a shout out to Jalen Rose because he hosts the NBA finals with Maria Taylor. And so there was a clip like a week or two ago, we were talking about basketball player that deserves a better contract. And in the middle of it, he's like, pay Maria Taylor. She deserves that money. Like, they're on the same network. For him to be doing that on national TV, they're on the same network. Pay this woman, don't let her go, this, that, and the other. And she's like, anyway, back to, like, she didn't want to, she wasn't trying to do that. But he could do that for whatever reason. So I believe that there are some people that will stick their neck out, but I think overall, I don't think most people are inclined to stick their neck out for people.
Oh, period. Any industry, no matter where you are. Yeah.
Like friendships, family, like most people are not trying to stick their neck out for anybody. I'm sitting here trying to think to myself, because I had this thought earlier, like who has ever stuck their neck out? Like, it's one thing to be like, don't say that. It's another thing, like, to step in and be like, watch what the fuck you say. That's my friend, that's my daughter, that's my mother, my brother, whatever the case may be.
The worst is when somebody swears they did that, but you're like, did you really though?
Yeah.
That's horrible, because it's like, how do you diminish somebody who's like, no, I did that for you. What are you talking about? And you're like,
did you?
Did you though? Like, oh, that's terrible. That's a terrible situation.
It's weird. I had a thought unrelated to this podcast about that moment where somebody did that. And I cannot for the life of me remember. Feel like it happened in college. But I can't, yeah.
They said to you, you didn't back me up, or?
No.
Or they said to you, like, I stuck my neck out for you.
No, neither one. That they actually did stick their neck out for me.
Oh.
Most people don't do that. But of course, I can't remember what it was.
You know what? I do have one. I have one where when I was working at this company, and it was a minority-owned company, the best company I've ever worked for.
Well, give them a shout out. Black-owned business.
But let me say my story before So there's a direct supervisor and then the big honcho, and me and the direct supervisor, we were the head honcho always went to trade shows with us, but this is like, finally, he was like, I got to do this stuff. You guys do the trade shows. And we went, and there was an issue at this show that we never got our product. We got nothing. Like, I had whatever I had with me in my bag. Like, I had a few brochures, my business card, and that's it. And he turned to me. I was supposed to be there for, it was either 2 days or 3 days. And he was like, listen, see if you can get on a flight right now. And I was like, well, it's leaving in like an hour and a half. He's like, go home. We have no product here. We don't even have like brochures. He's like, I think I had like 50 in my bag, just because I always had 50 in my bag. He's like, go, I'll stay here. If it comes, I'll take the trade show. Don't worry about it. Just go home. I was like, really? He's like, you got kids, go home. So I jumped in the car, and as I'm like on the way to the airport, I'm calling to change my flight. And our boss was really pissed, because he was like, she should have stayed, because I was really good at networking. And he was like, she should have stayed because she could have networked. And he was like, no, I'm not, no. What is their network about? We have no product. She had the business cards, a few business cards that she had in her pocket. She gave me everything that she had. 2 of us didn't need to be here. And he was like really mad about it. And I remember the head honcho called me. He's like, well, why did you go? And I was like, I didn't think it would be an issue. He's like, but you should have stayed. And I was like, oh, you know what? I know for next time, I'm sorry. I won't do that. And then my direct boss called, and he was like, there's no apology needed. I told you to leave. I wanted you to be home with your family. And he's like, you're not getting in trouble for this, period.
Right.
And I just like at work for him, you know what I mean? Like, for somebody to be like, you're not getting in trouble. I told you to go. It is what it is. But it was the best company I've ever worked for to this day.
Well, why don't you want to tell the name of it?
Oh, it's Compact Industries. It's called Brilliant Toothbrush. Best toothbrush for your family. And they have a whole housewares line. They have the Plink stuff. They have a grill stone. They have a lot of amazing products.
They didn't pay for advertisement.
They didn't pay for this.
Yeah. They'll end it there.
Brilliant toothbrushes.
Okay. So anyway, yeah, it's nice for, people to stand up for you. It's nice for people to call out when people say the quiet parts out loud, and that quiet part is a fucked up shit. It's one thing you'd be like, the quiet part is like, I really love him. You know what I mean? And he's your best friend.
It's never that. Yeah.
No, it's never that. Well, no, I shouldn't say it's never that, but it's never happened to me.
But yeah.
But I'm sure it's happened to other people. But the quiet part is never referring to like a good thing. It's like some fucked up shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got this job. Like, you don't hear somebody say, I got this job because I like slept my way to the top.
The best is like, we used to work for this one company, and whenever it was like a Spanish doctor, Hispanic doctor, or Black doctor, it was all of a sudden they look at us and they're like, yeah, you should go talk to them.
Yeah.
I'm like, really?
It's crazy.
I'm the best fit for this? They're like, yeah, you should go talk to them. Oh, look, they're in blah, blah, blah neighborhoods. Yeah, you should go there. Like,
yep.
One of the things, why don't you go there?
One of the things that is for this particular topic that is making it even more relevant and noticing more people is the debate over the critical race theory. Like, the amount of people that are like so against, when they don't even teach this, they teach it in law school.
So
like,
oh my gosh, I was just about to say, I heard the most incredible NPR interview last week about critical race theory and what it actually is, and what these like soundbite and clips that you see from certain, I'm not going to say political affiliations, but certain people in America that believe what critical race theory is. They're not teaching critical race theory in the K through 12 setting. It could have been a conversation that perhaps snowballed within students within a certain, but they're not teaching critical race theory in K through 12 schools, guaranteed. It is something that's taught in higher education and law school.
We both went to college. Did you get it taught in college?
No, and I wish, you know what? I'm actually going to research a critical race theory course, because I when in education you do a lot of human development and things like that. And what's so great about this human development of critical race is it's really kind of giving you a wonderful overview. And this is what this NPR article was, interview was talking about. It was she was talking, it was a Black professor. What is her name? It was fantastic. And what she was saying was like, the example she gave was, okay, let's look at Austin, Texas, which is, named after Austin Smith. And what they kind of looked at was, okay, let's look at the demographic makeup of Austin, Texas, and why it looks the way it looks, right? The border of Mexico has been shifted a few times, but people haven't left, right? Deal makers that they've made, and how important industry was, because, and how it couldn't have progressed without slavery. So, and it was deals made by certain plantation owners that they, about bringing indentured servants, slaves, for industry down into Mexico. It was on NPR. It was the most phenomenal talk I've heard in a really long time. This professor is phenomenal. I wish I could sit in her class, and I'm definitely looking into it. But K through 12 setting and these sound bites that you see that they're trying to make political, and looking at the Board of Education. And listen, your Board of Education, they're not always teachers. These are elected, these are volunteer positions. You do have superintendents, you have superintendents of curriculum. Those people usually came from education and educational settings. I guarantee you critical race theory is not coming in a K through 12 setting anytime soon. By the time they look at a curriculum and it gets unfolded, usually in private, and then it goes to public, it would take about 15 years to get into a K through 12 setting. And it's just not appropriate for the K through 12 setting because of the amount of information and the background information that you have to have for what real critical race theory is. Now, another person I can tell you that does phenomenal critical race theory highlights is actually John Leguizamo. So he does a lot of one-man shows. And part of his one-man shows are critical race theory. Mm-hmm. And it gives you kind of like the introduction as to why and how and things, how they progressed and developed within, certain subsects of American culture and things like that. So what you see, sound bites that you see of these parents going to a Board of Education meeting and yelling at these volunteer people about critical race theory in a K through 12 setting, absolutely not. I'm sorry, I hijacked your topic.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
But it's such
it's cool. It's cool.
But I'm telling you, it's like, I just really wish that, I hate when people say to me, because I'm very wishy-washy, and this is probably the one setting where I'm more so like, you'll ask me my opinion and I try to give it, but I also try not to give it because I'm very wishy-washy. And I usually get, because I don't want to give my opinion, because most of the time I'm not here to argue. And people will say to me, well, if you did a little bit more research. Okay, as people like to take these hot button topics and run with them, especially, before an election, after an election, things like that, or taking down certain people that view this way or that way. This seems to be one of those hot button issues. And what they're actually talking about is not critical race theory. And I really wish that people would highlight it for what it really is. John Leguizamo, I even think he might have some of his shows on Netflix and on HBO Max. And it's he has really done a phenomenal job, not only presenting the information, but making it personal, because he obviously introduced, parts of his own life, or I'm sure cartoonish parts of his life. But what actual critical race theory is phenomenal. It's a topic that I go ahead.
No, it's a topic that you what?
A lot of people, your first 2 years of school is more like your general subjects. Yeah. And I really wish that it was part of the humanities section of your of the educational components, not just in law school, because it's such a phenomenal thing to really understand, especially when you have such a I call it subcultures of America, because
Right.
you know you can be
Oops,
from
you broke up.
Texas to New York. Got it. I was
Wait.
going on a tangent again about why I think.
Yeah, the reception went out. Give me,
Oh,
I'm gonna pause this,
okay.
but the people at home might not realize it's being paused. Everybody should hear us pretty well the duration. I had to switch my Wi-Fi, but finish what you were saying.
I was just saying that, you know, when your first 2 years of school of you know, higher education is more of your humanities, like your general liberal arts courses, and critical race theory, I really think needs to be one of the options for humanities, not just in law school. Because like I've said before, I think I've made mention where I believe that, you know, American subculture is so diverse. Like you can be from Texas or New York and it could be like two separate countries almost. So understanding American subculture and what makes it so unique is really, really important to not only American history, but understanding American history.
Well, so I, thank you for like delving a little bit into it. I had brought it up not for any of that, but it's good information that you shared, and maybe down the road we can do a show. No, I'm not being funny. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
the reason I brought it up was because the people that we know exactly what it is, using it to divide and using it to say the quiet parts out loud, because you can't sit in one aspect of your life and vote that Juneteenth should be a federal holiday, and then out of the same breath say that schools shouldn't teach critical race theory.
I think it's very important.
That the 1619 project should be banned. Like you can't say one thing and mean another when it comes to this. And so a lot of people that are against it, you see the reasons that they are against it. And it has nothing to do with education. It has nothing to do with learning about the history of our country and why we act and do the things that we do and how we got to where we are today in 2021. It has everything to do with, keeping people down and, keeping the same mantra of them versus us in play. And so, I encourage everybody that's listening to us to research critical race theory on your own and not take it for what you think it is based on somebody that you elected telling you.
You know, usually what your political affiliation is your social media algorithm.
Right.
And I know that these clips that come up yelling about critical race theory in the K through 12 setting, I just ask that you check out this NPR interview that was so phenomenal, that can really delve into what actual critical race theory is. And I that's just my ask for whoever listens.
Exactly. All
Or
right.
John Leguizamo. It's really good.
Yeah.
I thought it's really good. Anyway.
So we're gonna switch. Whoops, that's not you. I mean, it's Tamieka's thoughts today, not Marissa's. I gotta change my background. I don't know, like I had it before. And it just, has your computer ever like reset everything? It's like, where is all my stuff? And you gotta like kind of,
oh girl,
put it back.
Yeah.
Pretty annoying, pretty annoying. But it is what it is. We've dealt with worse shit, right? Dealt with worse shit. All right.
It's time for Tamieka's thoughts.
Yes, it is. Over the years, you may have heard me reference one of my many cousins. I have way too many to count, and so unless you know me, it's hard to differentiate between which one I may be talking about. It's crazy because there have been times where I'm talking to someone and they tell me they don't have any cousins. That response always makes me turn up my hearing aids and ask for him or her to repeat what they said. How can you not have any cousins? I think at the end of the day, you can have relationships with cousins, but it's not possible to have none. None, I mean none cousins, no cousins. Now speaking of relationships with cousins, many of mine have run the gamut from sisters to friends to cousin aunt, cousin uncle. I've had strong bonds with some of them at points and non-existent relationships with others. Some knew me when I was a kid with knee braces and never saw me again, while others have remained in my life for 47 years. Cousins are unique family members, and most of us have interesting stories to tell about our experiences with different ones. Cherish those experiences. Reach out to those cousins you miss. Tell a cousin what you mean to them. Tell them you love them. Tomorrow is not promised. I dedicate today's show and today's thoughts to my cousin Shondie, who passed away on Thursday night. I have many fond memories of her, but I suppose the most lasting impression she left on me was her smile. Rest easy, cuz. Marissa, as we go back to our other Yep, Yeah, Yes page, where in the, oh, you know what? Before I ask people where they can find us, so the last clip I put up was about Felicia Rashad. I don't know if you saw the comments. People coming for me because I call her a bitch. I didn't call her a bitch like she's a bitch. I said it like, girl, you need to stop. It was like, bitch, you need to stop. You know how like it's like part of my vernacular. I don't realize I'm saying it. They were coming at me so hard. I would have been, somebody was like, I would have been, I'm gonna pull up the thing now. It's like, we like.
Wait, is this, where is it on YouTube? Where is
on
this?
Instagram. Like I'm happy with the people that like our show, but like we don't have to like you don't have to like this person touched by Terry. This was almost interesting. I almost checked y'all out, but the disrespect is at an all-time high, I see. Bye, Terry. Bye, Terry. So, if you don't like the way that I talk when I'm doing my thoughts or when we're just having a conversation, yes, a curse word might come out. Yes, I might say bitch. Yes, I might, sound like I'm disrespectful. It's because there are times when I'm talking to my best friend and I forget we're being recorded. Like I'm just like having a conversation, like an everyday conversation. And so the quiet parts sometimes are said out loud. Marissa, where can they catch us?
They can catch us at Yep Yeah Yes 18 on Instagram and Twitter, the Yep Yeah Yes podcast on Facebook. Any smart speaker, all you got to do is say, play the Yep Yeah Yes podcast. And to those bitches, so those bitches that wanted to come at you on Instagram, hey bitch.
What up though?
What you got to say now, bitch?
What up though?
Well, who is it, Terry?
Terry something, whatever. She's not
Hey,
the only,
bitch.
there's a few people that were like, they really
Hey bitch. Hey bitch. So listen, I'm mad disrespectful. Come at me, bitch. Oh, okay, goodbye.
All right, y'all. You know where to catch us everywhere.
Yeah, bitch.
We love you.
Everywhere, bitch.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Before the FCC
bitch.
By the way, the FCC wouldn't even come for us because you can say bitch on ABC, on regular TV.
Yeah, bitch.
All right, y'all. Bye now.
Bye, bitch.